Join me as I celebrate my friend FACEcadet at his music video release party for his track Atlantis. This man is destined for fame, so watch this video to say you knew him first and subscribe to my channel so I can introduce you to all the underground artists I meet along my journey.
All up in the Nolaverse, all up in the Nolaverse. There's community and fashion, entertainment and play. What are we going to do today? All up in the Nolaverse.
Hello, Magical Misfits. It's your girl, Nola Bunny, and welcome back to the Nolaverse. Today, I am coming to you live from the Williams Center in Rutherford, New Jersey. And it is a very special day because it is my friend Freddie, also known as FACEcadet's music video release party of his song Atlantis. Let's go check the party out. Meet Comrade, our master of ceremony.
You know, when I first met Freddie, it was a couple of years back. It was our first jam, and he told me to come to this mattress store in downtown Elizabeth. And after hours in the back of this mattress store, I'm playing my guitar, he's playing this drum, and we played for hours. And I'm like, man, this is a crazy guy. Another thing I was thinking about, man, the Williams Center here, this is actually named after a poet, William Carlos Williams, a beat poet back in the day, and he was all about creativity. And I think what you're going to see here is a lot of the artists that are going to be performing embody that creativity. These people just shut it down in their own way, and I think they're going to channel that tonight. We're going to go through the first video from the single, Wordsmith from the album La Cara. Oh yeah, that's me. I forgot, I'm in this video. I'm not a yellow belt anymore, but you know, we progress. We keep moving on. So everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Wordsmith. I actually remember shooting that, man. We had to go around that building like 20 times. And yo, shout out to Nick for directing that video. He's gonna come up before we present the new video and talk a little bit about the whole process. Are you guys ready for the first performance of the night? Yeah! Come on, guys. Are you guys ready for the first performance of the night? Yeah! Cool, smooth, highly original, and one of the most hard-working people out there, man, just dropping content almost every day. I want you guys to give a big round of applause for my man, Tony Newberry.
I just love music. It's an honor to be here. Shout out to Bezel, shout out to SB, of course, shout out to Face, and shout out Misfit. I want to be times 2 ahead from where I'm at right now. I wish I had it all, but I feel none. Is it even worth how far that I've come? I want to say one thing about that song. I have this line in it that says, like, all the people close, the same ones who slow me down. We as people have no right to blame other people for where we are in our lives. I just feel like that line is how everybody in this room has felt at a time about where they may have been. Don't ignore the way you feel. Wrong with your intuition. When I say face, y'all say cadet. Face, cadet. Face, cadet.
Tony Newberry, man. Love that energy out there. Ain't nobody stopping me but me, man. I love that line. We're about to go into our next performer right now. Before he goes up, man, I just want to say, man, my man is stylish, both on the physical and on the mic as well. Unique voice and with a strong message, man. My man is literally out here rapping for peace. Give it up for Call Me Misfit, man.
Yeah! Yeah! Put a piece to the puzzle, they get my bros up the streets. Never speak with a muzzle, shit, you gon' notice the type of speech in a huddle. I'm practicing what I preach. I drop a tape, but still asking for a release. I go by the name of Misfit, and damn, looking around this room, man, I see a couple familiar faces. Militia in the building, but I also see a whole lot of new faces, and that gets me excited. So let me be the first to say, welcome to the Militia. The Militia is a community of like-minded free thinkers built around sharing ideas to better motivate and inspire each other. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, come chop it up with me after the performance so we can talk about who can create some dope art together.
I just came across my new friends, Tony Newberry and Misfit, the opening act and second act of the evening. Tony, let's start with you. How long have you been a musician, performer? Tell me a little bit about yourself and your musical background.
Hi, my name is Tony Newberry. I'm 24.
I've been putting out music for going on 5 years now, and I've been making music for 7 years. My family is my main source of my inspiration, and my whole thing is to try and help people to just keep going in their lives while helping myself.
I love that. A message, a relatable message that I think pretty much most artists feel.
Yeah. It's a matter of, I believe, vocalizing it unconditionally, and that can become very hard for the love of the game and the lifestyle and what we envision as creatives. You either commit to it or you take a little bit longer to commit to it.
I fully believe in committing to your art because it is a gift, and you can either do something with that gift or you can lose it.
It's a comfort zone thing, for sure. I find that the further I have believed I've progressed as a human being internally or externally, I still come back to having to break through my comfort zone. So it's just a regular practice. So whoever watches this, if you are letting fear not be your motivator, you should let that be the thing that gives you a little kick in the butt and starts making you move forward. And then eventually you become your motivator, because the fear, you got to put it to the side a little bit. It can't drive you as much. It can become negative. And then you got to keep driving you, and you got to find people that drive you, and you got to make a decision if you want to be in the same car. It's a process, but it's just a matter of loving it. You gotta love it. And if you think you love something, try it.
And I think that if it's too easy, fear probably means that it's worth it. I'm a believer of that.
Yeah, I would say that too. There are, of course, instances where things are not worth it, but that is a matter of personal judgment, and we learn from our own doings.
I got my homie Misfit over here, and first of all, I love your name. As I told you, we just met, and he had no idea that I start every one of my YouTubes with Hello Magical Misfits.
I just found my family. I found my family. Hey.
And tell me a little bit about your musical journey.
So my name is Misfit. I'm 27 years old. I've been making music for quite a long time. I dropped my first EP in 2015 that I spent about a year and a half making, and I haven't looked back ever since. So I like to experiment with thought through my music, and it's just recently now that I realized people actually resonate with it. At first, I started making music for myself to kind of understand myself, my thoughts, and why I thought a certain way. But now I realize there's a lot more people, a lot of more misfits around, you know?
Oh, yeah. And I do want to know, since I really resonate with the name, what made you call yourself Misfit?
So this is a very long story. I just always felt like no matter where I was, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing, I always stood out. Whether I was too tall or I was whatever it may be, I felt like a misfit. So I felt like rather than putting a negative stigma on it, I just embrace it.
I relate to that very deeply because I have been in so many different environments, so many different atmospheres, and I've always felt like an outsider looking in. I've never really felt like I was entirely part of the crew. Okay. And I think that I feel the same way by using the word magical misfits, because we are magical people.
We are. We're magical beings. Our words hold power. Our presence hold power. Our energy is felt without a word even being said. So I feel like once we notice that and we're precautious with how we give our energy, we'll just move forward a lot better. You know?
And I'm also a firm believer about how words are spells, and what we put out in the atmosphere, especially as artists, we hold a lot of responsibility. I feel like you're someone that could relate to that. Can you add to anything?
Most definitely. I feel like as creatives, as music artists, there's a lot of power in our words, so we should be more careful with what we say. You know, it's not always about this and violence and this and that. Just notice that you hold power in your words and use them wisely.
Use them wisely. How do you know Freddie?
I know FACEcadet, my boy that was managing me for a while. Shout out Nino, the manager. He connected me with a lot of people that were doing underground events in like Elizabeth, and I saw him there. We didn't really like talk more than like a yo, you're dope too, and that was it. And then 3 years later, I see him at an event like 2 months ago, and we're chopping it up. It was just a really cool way to reconnect. That's like how I feel like I've gotten that type of connection with him recently, and like it's a cool connection because it's a spiritual connection. Like it's something that I feel like I see him perform, perform, and I see what he cares about throughout what he creates, and it makes me understand that I'm not crazy. And it was an awesome event. Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, how did you feel when he asked you to open for his album release party?
I love it. I will open, I will close, I'll hold the door if I get to perform. I don't care. I'm just trying to perform. It's an honor. Anytime someone asks, it's an honor.
And what about you, Misfit? Tell me your story about Freddie and becoming a part of his world.
Yeah, so first off, Face, man, thank you for having me, man. I met Face through, I would say, events, just being at mutual places. I can't put my finger on the first event that I saw him, but I know the first thing that comes to my head is Inertia. He knows that's my favorite song. As soon as I saw him perform, I was like, this man puts his all into his performance. He feels the music. Like Tony said, bro, I'm not crazy. There's more of us. We use this music as a vessel, To hear that he's not taking this gift lightly and he's really pushing it to the furthest is an honor, just to witness.
And how did you feel when he asked you to be involved in such a special night?
Honestly, I held it to a high honor. Just to be able to share such a big day to him, his release day for his music video, it was truly, I'm grateful.
Any last words you would like to share with our viewers?
Just keep going.
Just keep going. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. What about you? What about you, Misfit?
I would say don't be afraid to be yourself, because there's only one of you. M1 means that you're one of one. If you could resonate with that, welcome to the militia.
To authenticity, to the positive side of being a misfit, and to continuing on the journey.
So this next artist, man, intensity. The first time I ever seen him was actually underneath the train tracks at Union Station. And it was just wild. It was a wild performance. And I told Freddie, I'm like, bro, who the hell is that? The way he was just spitting with just intensity. Another strong message out here. He was speaking as if he was like a priest, man. I'm telling you. I want you guys to give it up for the truth speaker, Lord Bezel.
Yeah! Get back in tune to where you came from. And then it's all gonna make sense. Yo, I need everybody put one hand in the sky for me, please. Say, man, I know I'll see you again. Yo, my name is Al FACEcadet, Sierra, I love y'all. I'm gonna say this all night. My ministry started 8 years ago. That was the time when I was going through a lot. But believe me when I tell you, there is light at the end of the tunnel for everybody. It's already there. You have to be able to see it for yourself. Because a lot of people, we go through all these negative things, and it's hard for us to block the light off and say, no, this isn't happening for me. No, God's not here for me. Never leaves. Will never leave you. Before I get off, I'm gonna leave out with just one thing. The one thing I've been reading about in the Bible a lot, and one thing that keeps coming up, is the word grace.
Yes.
Come on. Oh yeah. But this is a big one. It's grace. You must extend to people the same grace and forgiveness that God extends to you. And believe me, I know it's hard. I know. I'm guilty too. I've fallen, and I've still fallen even after I've gotten God. And I'm going to continue to fall. Grace is everything. We must become more like Him. If we don't become more like Him and stomp out our negative ways to become more like Him, what exactly are we if we're not trying to elevate? I thank God for y'all, man. Thank you.
Lord bless you, man. And I like that grace, man. Right now, all of us together in this safe, creative space, sharing this grace, being here for one another, and actually listening to these artists as they speak their own path, we get that feeling that we can kind of do something that maybe we've been wanting to try, some inspiration. This next artist, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Remember SB.
Remember SB opted out of being filmed, so here's a taste of what you missed.
Body is a dime, but your mind is a fire. Straight busy with my racks, bitch, I'm ready to die.
Remember SB, man. One of the most versatile and emblematic characters out here, man. We're gonna go ahead and put the music video coming up, and then right after that, my man Freddie's gonna shut it down with live band guesstimate. All right. But before we actually go into the music video, we're actually gonna bring up the director of the video, Nick.
Shut up, First of all, thank you everyone, thank you all the performers. I probably met Freddie 3 or 4 years ago at an open mic. From walking in there, seeing him perform, and I'm sure everyone has gotten this experience of just seeing how into the music he is, to create a space that's not only welcoming to others, but to make others feel welcome and comfortable enough to create with him, perform alongside with him, and to not compare. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing in this industry. We need more support, so.
That's right.
Even you guys being here, in this basement, in this den, means more than a lot of these people will ever know.
Woo!
Seriously, thank you guys. Let me talk about the FACEcadet MCU, if I will. After watching the Wordsmith video, you can see that Freddie was wearing this white t-shirt, almost kind of like a Mormon. We personified that this is his identity, this is his angel form, that is his mind. When he is FACEcadet, when he is Lakata, that is his music personification, that's his heart, that's his body. So in this video, we show Freddie as FACEcadet going throughout New York City, going through different places that he grew up in, but it's also showing him and Lucas as these angels, going through the city, going through childlike wonder, seeing these things that you've never seen before. So if you've ever been to New York City or if you've ever been to a place that you've never thought you'd experience and you had that childlike wonder, this video's for you. Enjoy.
Yeah!
Man, that was a dope video, bro. Yeah. All the way from New York, took it back to Jersey right at the end, man. Shout out to FACEcadet Atlantis, baby. This man has performed everywhere. Mattress shops, coffee shops, underground bars, empanada stands. Empanada stands. Where else? Train stations. Rooftops. Asbury Park, the beach, you name it, man. He's been there. He's everywhere. I'm just getting so excited myself. I just want to say that this next artist is going to blow your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the first man off and the last man on this ship, FACEcadet!
So much for coming out tonight, man. I want to get emotional. Thank you guys so much, man. This means the world. Tonight we're gonna give you something special, something nice, something right. Recharge that battery of yours. Have you leave this building charged up. Lakata. Thank you, Comrade Classic, for hosting. Thank you, Tony Newberry, Misfit, Lord Vessel, remember SB, Snaggletooth Production Nick, Lucas on the beat, William Center, thank you for hosting us. Joe, Alex, appreciate y'all. Dragonfly, oh my, you got me feeling so like lost in the night. Naturally, I am like dragonfly. Oh my, you got me feeling so high. Lost in the night. Naturally, I am like.
I am here with my friends Chris and Taylor, 2/3 of Guesstimate. And let's start there. So who started Guesstimate?
I'm the last person to join, but the origins of Guesstimate are we were all living together. We kind of all moved in together, like right before the COVID lockdown was going on. All the other projects we had outside of that at the time became inactive because nothing was going on. There was no shows. And so we were just like started jamming all the time. I guess by we, I mean Andrew and Bobby kind of started it off, and Taylor was playing with them. They would go out on the porch all the time. There is a fourth. Bobby is the bassist of Guesstimate. I just play bass in this trio thing. They were playing a lot, and then I got involved. The rest is history, I guess, as they say.
I noticed you play the flute, the trumpet, the accordion. So you must have started in high school or even younger.
I started playing in elementary school and played trumpet through high school, and then more recently started like learning new stuff to expand our band sound and just learn new things.
How do you describe Guesstimate? If you were to use a phrase, a word. I've seen you guys perform once before at Urban Renaissance, and you guys have a wide variety of sounds. Very, very unique, a little bit rock, a little bit bohemian. What would you say?
We actually were talking with some people about this weekend. There's kind of a debate over what genre we are. We kind of have just been going with art rock right now.
Okay, art rock.
We've gotten to the point where like people ask us, people are going to say whatever they want anyway, but we think art rock's probably the most appropriate.
And now you have joined forces with Freddie. How many times have you performed with Freddie?
Is this our fourth show?
And how did that start?
Our first show as Guesstimate was actually at Pino's in 2021. It was either late 2021 or early 2022. We played that show and started doing more with Freddie a little bit, but we didn't see him for like maybe a year or so. We played this other festival, and our friend Chino was doing like some of the booking for that. And
Chino.
Yeah, so we became more friendly with Freddie again. He wasn't just someone we like performed the show with. He was someone we started hanging out with more.
You guys were developing a relationship, but how did you decide this is a thing? Let's perform together.
I think Freddie was interested in the idea of like playing with an actual band, and eventually we invited him over and we kind of just jammed, and then it was just decided pretty much.
I don't even know if we had our first show or anything booked yet, but yeah, there was a week he just came over every day. We just made new stuff, not even anything. Accordion to the gospel, yeah.
Tonight were written that day. And
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say there were a couple songs that I didn't recognize. So you guys have now, it's not only that you've joined Freddie's project, you guys are now collaborating.
I know that I think one of the things we played, he had written the lyrics to, but he didn't have like a beat or anything. So he just started kind of like spitting that while we were jamming, and that just became the song pretty much. That's probably one or two of the ideas right now, but that's kind of how, I don't know, the process has been. We just get together and it comes out and
it just flows. And so you guys said that Guesstimate, you're kind of considering, if you had to put yourself in a genre, you guys are saying art rock, correct? Now, Freddie, I think, is also really cool because, yeah, he's rap and hip hop, but he's also got rock and roll. Have you guys ever experienced with rap and hip hop, or is this new territory for you guys?
Yeah, I've done stuff with Vaughn.
Playing with Freddie is my first like real experience playing live. Also playing bass. I've been interested in playing bass with a project, and so this was an easy way for me to get into that as well.
That's right, because you said you actually do have a fourth Guesstimate player. Is he not a part of this project that you're doing with Freddie?
He is not.
He's not a part of that. So remind me what you play with Guesstimate.
I play guitar with Guesstimate.
You play guitar with Guesstimate. So this new project is even kind of challenging you, and now you're becoming a bass player. Yes, exactly. I love that. I'm excited to see you guys grow as Guesstimate and you guys grow with FACEcadet.
We're really at the beginning of like working with Freddie still, so I'm excited to see what comes out of that.
Tell that man who's chasing me, just one more glance.
My homie, Freddie, also known as FACEcadet. How are you feeling?
I feel electrified.
How did it feel seeing all your loved ones, your mother, one of your older clients came tonight, all your best friends there to support your music video release?
You know, it was a special moment. The best word to describe it was emotional. I think all things were mostly on the good side, of course, came in this just feeling of emotions of like, better relax and get ready to perform and transmute that into the energy that I portrayed tonight, playing for all you guys.
One of my favorite things about you, and we got to give it to your wifey Sierra too, the community that you two together. I've said this before when I've interviewed you. I've said this on my own so many times. And we saw it tonight. Pretty much every artist that walked up there, they spoke so highly of you. Let's talk about the song Atlantis.
Atlantis, yeah, we recorded that in August. It was a 10-hour day. We had a driver, 2 camera personnel. Sierra would manage the grounds of the locations where we shot at, and then Lucas and myself. And yeah, we were like a 6-man crew, my cousin driving, double park, pulled to these spots that I would go to a lot. I grew up in those areas, and so I kind of wanted to tip my hat to that, being from New York, just landing in those spots, and we all just played our role. We only had one shot to do it because we didn't want to grab the attentions from cops because of permits. We just executed all on a high level. I was able to shave for those parts where I had my shirt and tie on to represent my angel side, and we did that all in 10 hours. I'm proud of all of us. It just goes to show you that, you know, people can work harmoniously together and people can share the same goal, even though it's my essential idea. But, you know, I think they all believe and they're all on board with it. And they see how I drive towards it.
Correct me, you grew up in Queens, was it? Where did you grow up in the city specifically?
My mom lived in Queens. My parents were divorced, but I grew up in Hell's Kitchen, New York.
What's really cool that we got to see in the video is all the unexpected things that happen in the city. So there was the elderly woman dancing with you. There was the balloons, so many different things. Can you talk a little bit about how those moments happened? Because that was completely natural. Nobody planned those. Those weren't hired actors.
Being there and being in that level of focus, concentration, and will to like, we have to do this, we were gravitating that towards us. We created a ripple in the city, I think. You know, we stained it a little bit. We were felt. And you can see that in instances where I, again, pull up with a little PA. Hey guys, I just need 5 minutes. Hit the music. Boom. And it's like we're rolling and I don't have time to be like, I didn't like that first verse. Let's do it. No. Even if I messed up, it doesn't matter. It's just perform your heart out. And I think that was the best part about doing that. It was just more of like, it doesn't matter if I hit the notes. Forget that. Just feel the words, you know. And I think because of that energy that was being cultivated in that surge of everyone working together, you know, everyone building together, everyone being symbiotic almost, like people were just like drawn to it and they wanted to add a perspective of theirs that they kind of see themselves with what we're doing. Right? So they're like, this is making me want to do something.
And then you did the full circle moment. You ended it. You see the sign of Elizabeth, New Jersey, where you reside now.
And it's Jersey all day. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
You know what's so funny? I grew up in Yonkers, New York, so we're both actually New Yorkers that live in Jersey now. I don't know. I still got my New York pride all the way. For me, it's New York all the way.
I hear you, but there's something about Jersey that, you know, makes sense.
Talk about full circle moment. So in the music video, you did the full circle moment where you see where you grow up and then you end it in Jersey all the way. Your show today also had a full circle moment. So Lucas is the one that made the beats for your first album. I know I'm going to leave our interview, the first time we chatted, all about Freddie's music in the description below. And you guys can check that out and learn really more about his journey as a musician because we went way deep in there. And maybe we can remind everyone here. So Lucas is the one that made the beats for your first album. And I know that when you met him, it was like everything aligned for you.
Yeah, he played a huge factor in, you know, this product that you see. I mean, it's kind of silly to call it a product, but, you know, essentially this representation, there you go. He was able to captivate the attitude, the true attitude of how I'm carrying the energy and portraying these personalities and characters and do it in a way that's just true to my upbringing of a first-generation American. Parents from Ecuador had me when they were super young, divorced, dad, you know, working hard, being raised by my aunt, my mom, and my dad because everyone was working. And so what do we have? TV, we have video games. We didn't have phones. All in all to say, Lucas is a big factor.
Lucas was in your encore tonight. You brought him up to play drums. Andrew was playing the whole concert. And then to go full circle, we bring Lucas up.
Wait a minute. You gotta give us one more.
Encore!
Give them what they want, man.
We're gonna end this how we started it. Got my man Lucas up here. We're gonna go meta. We're gonna relive that video, huh? Just me and my shadow amongst these statues. It's a broad day on the avenue and the view as it dilutes. Windows searching for higher revenue.
I wanted to show like the genesis, the beginning, and the end to this. Also, just having this conversation with Lucas without saying any words, you know, it's that thing that we have with other people that we accept and we understand and we move past it when it doesn't suit us, but we still care when we love them and we're always going to be a team, a unit, and we're always going to be there. I didn't want anyone to ever feel like they were left out.
And, you know, we can even say that with Tommy as well, because Tommy, he wrote the trumpet in a lot of the tracks on your first album. And he also, at least the first time I saw you live with your band, Tommy was one of those band members. And he also was here as a supporter. And also, you've also included Michael, and Michael's played the trumpet that Tommy wrote. So that's like another full circle thing. I had that thought tonight, and when Lucas came up, I think it's really beautiful because Tommy also, he deserves acknowledgement in this too. Yes. And he was also there to support you, and that just shows how much these people love you.
Yeah. I love them too, and they're so cool, and they're so understanding and open.
This is really just the beginning of FACEcadet, just the beginning of La Cara. It's been happening, but it's still very much the beginning. People can come and go and rejoin. I think that's a big part of who you are too, is that you're never going to just cancel people out. When it's the right time, come on and be a part of it, or try something new, and there's a time for that as well. What is next right now for FACEcadet?
I guess, playing at bigger venues, not so much bigger, but honestly, the next thing I want to do is really help Sierra manage Urban Renaissance. I want to be able to have a bigger pool with I don't want to call it influence, but I definitely have a thing where I can get people to come because I guess the energy.
Yeah, so maybe the next thing isn't as much things that we're going to physically see, but it's more like behind the scenes work, that you are continuing to build the community, continuing to help wifey Sierra build her community, which really is both of your communities. I'm now a part of the community. It's all of our communities, and continue to build your fan base. That sounds like where you're at right now.
That is it. I just want to support my wife. I want to get Urban Renaissance to a whole nother level.
Any last words to share with our audience, many of who are artists themselves?
First off, to the audience in attendance tonight, thank you. So much gratitude, and I'm very thankful that you would take the time to come on a rainy Thursday night and just give this young man a chance to express himself and open up. Thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable. And to the viewers now, I hope you get an opportunity to see our community. I hope you get the opportunity to meet Mike and Nola and myself and everybody else that just does what they do in this community. They're all great people.
Here's to making things happen, putting your art out there. I am so proud of you. I love you. You are one of my favorite people that exists. Thank you. Thank you for existing, Freddie. Thank you for sharing your art. And till next time, my friends.
Heard your play.